Welcome back, everyone. I'm the Bad Luck Gamer, and we're back with another Pathfinder Bites where I try to describe to you guys one of the classes in less than 10 minutes. So let's get started. Today we're going to be talking about an investigator. So what is an investigator? Well, the investigator is the class that is similar to the rogue. They're a skill monkey who can learn pretty much anything they really want to. They get lots of skill proficiencies every level, but they also get skill feats, but more focused on the mental aspects. So you can think of them as a brainier, smarter rogue, which is really cool. Investigators are also cautious combatants, learning about their foes, taking their time to observe them before striking when the time is right, dealing damage with their strategic strike, which we'll get into in a little bit, which does extra damage. A good, cautious investigator can do massive amount of damage, striking an enemy when they're least expecting it. Investigators, I think, even more than rogues, are capable of performing a wide range of roles for the party, whether it's a healer, damage dealer, scout, information gatherer, all the kind of stuff. Any kind of role you can imagine, the investigator has a very good capacity to accomplish those roles, meaning they're a very versatile and diverse class for a variety of builds. They're actually my favorite class in the game for this reason specifically, because you can pretty much do anything with an investigator, which I absolutely love. And last but not least, investigators are the best when it comes to finding clues. In fact, they got many features dedicated to finding clues about whatever they're currently investigating, which is where the name comes from. This comes in a variety of ways through feats or abilities, but they are the class that nothing can get past. It is one of their core strengths and one of their best features. So what makes an investigator? Well, they have a wide variety of features, but I'll go over the most important ones here. So let's talk devise a stratagem and strategic strike. Now, devise a stratagem is an action they can take where they observe an enemy, they roll an attack, and they add their intelligence rather than strength or dex. Granted, the weapon they're using must either be a agile or finesse weapon, or a agile, finesse, unarmed strike, or a ranged weapon, or the sap, which, is the whole investigator bonky stick for knocking people out in movies. In any regard, as long as it uses dex in some variety, or it's an agile weapon, they can use strategic strike, which strategic strike is additional precision damage. It's a d6 additional precision damage on the target of their devised strike. Now, you actually get additional strategic dice as you level up. At 5th, 9th, 13th, and 17th, you will have eventually 5d6 damage additionally on top of whatever your damage for your strike is, which is absolutely amazing. But the best part about devise a stratagem is you roll for the attack before it's made. You don't even need to be in range of the opponent. What this allows you to do is know what your attack is before you commit to the action. This is a really solid action, and it gets even better with Pursue a Lead, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But it allows you to say, judge, if you rolled like a 17 and an 18 crit, you can then feint the enemy and then strike them, making it a guaranteed crit. Or if you know it's a crit, you can engage with an enemy. Or if you don't know it, or if you know it's not going to hit, you can avoid the enemy, moving further back, negating some of their actions on their next turn that you're fighting with. Strategic strike and devise a stratagem are perfect for someone who likes to thoroughly think through their turns and have an answer for any solution. Knowing that maybe if their strike isn't going to work, they can use other actions to help their teammates. This makes them a much more cerebral class, so if you're not very much into deep thinking kind of classes, then Investigator might not be for you. But if you do like those kind of complex actions, well, then it's a really great class. Then there is their methodologies. Now, their methodologies are essentially the way they perform their various investigator duties, and it essentially gives them a subclass that changes how they play the game. For instance, the alchemical sciences gives them the quick tincture ability, making them very similar to an alchemist having a quick alchemy, though not to the same effect. They're more proficient at making alchemical tools and elixirs, and not just, they don't make bombs or anything like that. So they always have an alchemical tool ready to help them in their investigations. And of course, they also get access to alchemical crafting, meaning that the alchemical sciences style of investigator is the more crafty one. Then there's empiricism, which allows them to recall knowledge quickly. It actually gives them the ability to, once per 10 minutes, recall knowledge, seek, or sense motive as a free action. This frees you up to do a lot of other things, and as well, it gives you the That's Odd Investigator feat, which allows you to essentially know when something is off in a room. You might not know exactly what it is, but you do know something is off, and that might prompt you to do a little bit further researching. This is kind of a thing that a lot of GMs get a little frustrated with, but it is, at least for narrative purposes, makes them really good at finding clues. Then there is forensic medicine, allowing you to essentially become trained in medicine and get forensic acumen in battle medicine. Forensic acumen is it's a very investigatory one. I'm not going to go into it here, but battle medicine is really good, and essentially it allows you to be the medic for the party, sewing your party members up when necessary. On top of that, whenever you do use battle medicine, you recover additional HP equal to your level, and the target becomes immune only for an hour, not for a day, meaning that your battle medicine is already more proficient than any other character starting out with battle medicine. It's really good, and it can turn you into the healer of the group. Last but not least is interrogation or interrogator. This allows you to be able to better interrogate people. It's really hard to say. They're trained in proficiency. They get no cause for alarm, which allows them to spend actions to reduce the fear condition of nearby allies, which is all really good. They also get pointed question, where they point a question. It's a very Sherlock Holmes. They say a question and they try to see if the enemy lies or gives some kind of tell to kind of give them a hint at what might be going on beneath the surface. Interrogation is really good if you're playing a face character and are very into the whole interrogation, good cop, bad cop kind of situations that come in a variety of investigation style missions. Overall, the methodologies allow you to pick the style of investigator you can go, and then with your sheer amount of feats and skills that you can pick up for whatever you're doing, you can be incredibly proficient at any job, whether it's a healer, damage dealer, stealth scout, or even at just a very solid face. The investigator is probably going to be one of the best classes for that role. Now, let's talk about their core feature and the more complicated one, which is Pursue a Lead. Now, Pursue a Lead is generally not that complicated. You can have 2 leads, and you look for any kind of clues. You spend about a minute looking for clues in an area, and then if you identify that someone has been there, you can pursue that target as your lead. Now, the interrogator can actually talk to someone for a minute and then pursue that person as their lead during the conversation, so they don't need to look for clues or anything like that. And what it does is it gives you a circumstance bonus to any checks, to either perception or any kind of investigative checks that you're looking for. When it comes to following that lead, they can't hide from you that easily. They also get a higher proficiency in perception than other classes, up to legendary, meaning that not much escapes the eye of the investigator. But the main thing for Pursue a Lead is it actually stacks with Devise a Stratagem in the way that if you're currently fighting the target of your Pursue a Lead, Devise a Stratagem becomes a free action rather than a single action. This is absolutely huge because the knowledge of what your role is going to be ahead of time, replacing your intelligence, which is probably your best stat, with strength or dex, and the additional strategic strike damage, means that as long as you did your research ahead of time, an enemy is going to be particularly weak to your character. Granted, this is going to be a lot of footwork on your behalf to do it, and just seeing an enemy is not good enough to pursue a lead more often than not. You're going to have to see evidence of their actions or, do some kind of clues. You have to see the kinds of people they are by the kinds of things they leave behind. It's not just as simple as hunt prey, where you can see a target and then pursue them as a target. It's literally you need to see the recourse of their actions to kind of do a mental profile of the character so you can more easily identify what they're going to do in combat. It's really cool. It's got a high payoff for the effort you put in, but this is an advanced class feature, meaning that it's not going to be something that a beginner player probably should be looking to do. If you want a really good in-depth advanced class, Investigator is going to be the one for you, and it's definitely my favorite. But that's going to be it for me. I hope this video helped you out. Hopefully I didn't talk too much about my favorite class. Maybe, who knows. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Good luck with your games. Leave the bad luck to me. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.